My life is good. I write was hood. I might get to it. Not out the woods, so bro, I got to do it. Be a monster. That's why my mantra.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentary. So let's talk about Ding Dong Hello, the Bayley segment with Seth Rollins. So I said it, I think I said it a week ago, or I said it 2 weeks ago. Bayley and Seth Rollins are literally the same character. They are. They both fold into the same archetype. They're the same character. So it's like for them to be sitting in the room together, you know, both cackling like witches, you know, being excessively narcissistic, you know, Seth Rollins with his drip and all the other insane stuff he's doing. Bayley with the laughing and the photos of herself that are all over the place. And you know, and to see how well they get along, it's like they would get along very well. They're both narcissists. Of course they would get along great. They're passing compliments to one another. They're throwing to each other's video packages. I'm sure everything was peachy fucking keen, right? But they're the same character. And I think that I've been trying to tell people about this. I've been yelling about it on Twitter. That Seth Rollins' character, from the architect to what he's doing now, which I'm guessing is still the visionary kind of gimmick. It's all been based off of him having superior mental acumen to everyone else. You know, being an excessive schemer, a planner. And, you know, part of that is him always trying to get other people, you know, to go in with him with his ideas. So he's the architect of the Shield, right? We're saying that he's the guy who came up with the Shield, and he basically talked the other 2 guys into joining, right? And then we see the similar thing where he's part of the Authority, where he's got J&J Security, and then he's got Kane. He's got, you know, always got followers. He's always got people that he's either coercing somehow or some way into joining his cause. And then, of course, later on, the Monday Night Messiah had, you know, Murphy, and they had AOP for a while. That was actually a pretty good move for AOP. I hate that they're gone because they were actually good in that role as 2 big heavies for Seth Rollins. But now he's pretty much by himself. And as a guy who's by himself, he can carry it by himself, obviously. But he's in a position where he wants to be an influencer. He wants to influence others. And as a narcissist, he takes disrespect very, very personally. Bayley is similar. You know, Bayley, except for her character, was never about people, you know. How's the best way for me to put this? I'm doing this off the top of my head, by the way. I don't have notes on this. But you have Bayley, who is the role model, right? The role model is similar to a visionary. They're an influencer. They're somebody that you look up to. When Bayley was doing that gimmick in NXT, it got over because she was able to utilize the cheery nature of the character on a accepting audience. When it went to the main roster, people were not accepting it. Therefore, she couldn't be an influence. Even though she was still kind of successful, people were just booing her because she was basically bubblegum. But when she continued to lean into it and say that I am your role model, I am a role model, and then she started kind of building herself up, the narcissism in her character kind of took over. And she destroyed the old Bayley, of course. But the core of the character is still the same. She's still the role model. She's just a different kind of role model. And now she's just very arrogant. And her arrogance, which has always sort of, well, it hasn't been there because she became arrogant as she turned heel. But when she had that promo, she started talking about she wasn't going to be humble anymore. And she flipped. She became sort of narcissistic. And now she's gone like full crazy person, with the pictures everywhere and everything, and laughing at Bianca Belair. It's her and Seth Rollins are the same fucking character. Okay? They're the same character. These people are lazy. But their segment was just them 2 throwing compliments at one another, and then the bell rings. And then Seth Rollins being cordial, a gentleman, opens the door, and it's Cesaro. And Cesaro's just whooping his ass, throwing him all over the place. And, you know, he's tearing up the set. He ripped his clothes off. He tore up the set. He threw them all over the pictures and everything. And Bayley is completely distraught. Like, outside the ring, she is like, no, what are you doing to my show? And she kind of gets in the ring to complain to Cesaro about what he did to her show. And she, of course, gets her picture because she's not going to let her pictures be on the floor. But the door is all busted up and the easels are knocked over and everything. And so then Bianca Belair comes out just to laugh at Bayley. You know, and I was just kind of like, didn't like that. I got what they were trying to do, but I didn't like it. It's just too much laughing, you know, because Bayley and Seth Rollins were just sitting there cackling, and it's like they're two peas in a fucking pod, you know, like it's just. But the segment itself, I think, was okay, you know. Of course, we knew Cesaro or somebody was going to be behind the door to start the fight. That's fine. I'm done with the laughing. We need to get. We went dark with Bayley last week. We're going lighter with her this week. Where, you know, just like it's been the same thing with Seth, where 1 week Seth is the drip king and he's cracking jokes and he's smiling a lot. The next, he's this psycho who's blaming you for his bad behavior, you know. And now they're doing the same thing with Bayley, where last week Bayley was super creepy and had her face all over everything, and she looked almost witchy because her hair was. It's almost like they went full Cruella de Vil with her, because it seemed like they wanted to color her hair white, or at least strands of it white, which probably would have been a little too on the nose. But you know, that's a different character anyway. But they've been going back and forth between these characters being both silly and serious and violent at the same time. So I expect Bayley probably to snap and do something really dangerous next week. Probably to, you know, beat Bianca Belair with a chair or a kendo stick or something like that, because she was disrespected. Now, I also expect Seth Rollins to be pretty pissed because he got beat up. But I expect the mockery that Bayley got to elicit something that is probably going to be completely unnecessary. Will this match be a Hell in a Cell match? Probably not. Now, I do believe that Rollins and Cesaro, I thought that would be the Hell in a Cell match for SmackDown. I didn't think they would put Roman in the cell again, but hey, you got to put Roman in the box. So it was okay. Again, enough with the laughing. But I enjoyed Bayley and Seth Rollins being on the screen at the same time. And I like the beatdown. The beatdown was pretty fun. We're keeping Cesaro away from the mic. I'm guessing that there's a reason for that. But, you know, it's going to be okay. I'm guessing maybe it's going to be a mixed tag match eventually with the four of them. That ought to be fun, because Cesaro and Bianca are not the same character. But it could be fun regardless. And that match could rock if you give it some time. Like if you give it, you know, Seth Rollins and Bayley versus Bianca Belair and Cesaro, if you get that match like 10 to 15 minutes, it could really rule. You know, maybe they would. You know, they won't try to rush everything and do it in 7 minutes at the end of the disqualification. But, you know, just WWE. It'll probably be a disqualification in 4 minutes. All right, but let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Old non-aggression. Once that lesson sets in, you'll see a session where you got an affection for no progression, regression. The best don't